Tonight's podcast is brought to you by Digital Stamp Collecting Go.
Hey, fellas, do you enjoy games devoid of any meaningful mechanics?
Yeah!
Do you like to collect useless pictures of fictional works?
Yeah!
Are you drawn to fads like flies on shit?
Yeah!
Then we have the game for you. It's Digital Stamp Collecting Go! Digital Stamp Collecting Go has all of that and even less! Walk around! Well, fuck it. We know you're lazy. Drive around and collect digital stamps from the games you were too much of a coward to play as a child.
Pussy!
Now that it's socially acceptable, you're free to embrace the shallow imitation of the game that you kicked the shit out of little Jimmy for playing in middle school.
And that's not all.
We know you possess the intellectual wherewithal of a retarded goat, and we strip the game of any actual gameplay. Just collect stamps and gloat about it to the only 3 people you haven't driven out of your life yet.
Sociopath.
Digital Stamp Collecting Go, because you saw memes about it on Facebook.
It's our favorite time of week again, and hopefully it's your favorite time of week.
Yeah.
It's the Good Old Gamers podcast coming back at you again.
I hear you can give us a call to the number.
I think you can give us a call at a number, a very special number.
I believe that is 682-777-GOOD, 682-777-4663.
We can't nail that into your head enough.
No, we cannot.
How about instead of our usual, we're going to change it up just a bit. This number's important. We have it for a reason. And we're going to start berating you until you start producing. So, here you go, at the beginning. 682-777 good.
Dial the number, you know you should. Leave us a message, you know the kids is one. 682-777 good, yeah.
You heard the man. 682-777 good.
Yep.
Please call us. We have that shit for a reason, and fellas, we ain't gonna lie, y'all are fucking slacking here lately, just a little bit.
Well, we got some tonight.
It's okay. Yeah, for the ones that did call, mucho thanks.
Y'all saved the vaginas from turning to stone.
Very mucho appreciative.
Yep.
How you doing, Brandon? Shit. Oh, fuck. I'm Lyle McClendon.
Yeah,
I'm here with Brandon Gentry.
I'll go fuck yourself.
Well, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm hoping we get some hate mail for that sponsor.
Me too.
It's been a while since we had hate mail. I like hate mail.
I was actually thinking the other day about hate mail because one of my friends does a podcast, and they've started getting hate mail finally, but it's not toward them. It's about guests
Really?
they have on the show. Like certain listeners, pretty much saying they don't prefer certain guests to be on the show.
Are you one of those guests?
No, I wasn't. I believe it or not. I do know the one that was.
I'm going to wait till you're on one, and then I'm going to send an email.
I hope. Thanks. Thank you. Ruined my podcasting career.
I will.
What a illustrious career it's been. But,
been on all the podcasts in Coleman.
well, it just got me thinking because, that's kind of, that's something we very well could encounter at some point. And, it's kind of like, do you address that hate mail, being that it's not intended toward you, like, that was the kind of question, like, what would you address and what would you keep it disclosure? And I'm like, well, if it was just something like stupid and hateful, that had no merit to it, I wouldn't.
I might address it to the point to remind them about all the dicks they need to eat.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
That's true.
Something else new we got going on. We're recording with video.
We are.
Video.
Let's,
God, we look awful.
I look like a serial killer.
Yeah, you only get the top half of your face.
I gotta sit up and proper and shit.
For all y'all wondering, though, these videos we're recording with are getting trashed because we're new to this. We're going to do a few.
We might make put this on a DVD somewhere, and this be like a watch at your own risk kind of deal.
We'll put it on a DVD and bury it in a field, and some poor man will find it and watch it a decade from now. And his face will melt off. And
They'll be like,
this.
No wonder humanity is dead now. No wonder.
This is the breaking of the last seal.
And behold, there was a great earthquake, and the moon turned as black as sackcloth, and the seas became of blood. It just so happens, like, us two, Catfish and Everett Hornbuckle, are the accidental 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Oh, fuck.
Well, we're going to kick it off, as we often do at the beginning of our show, with a little news segment to bring you some information. I don't have just a shit ton, but the few things I do have, I figure we could spend a minute talking about.
I've got a fair amount.
Sonic Mania got announced the other day. Did you see anything about that?
No, I didn't.
Sega is going back to roots and doing a completely 2D new Sonic game called Sonic Mania. And they showed demos of it the other day, and
Looks like Sonic.
it looks like Sonic 1 through 3, which I'm completely fine with that.
Yeah.
You can play as Sonic, Tails, or Knuckles. It's got a bunch of the classic zones redone. They're bigger in scope now and have more, I guess, loop-de-loops and crazy shit.
Yeah.
And then it's got a shit ton of new zones, too. And they're talking about DLC later on, like they'll make new level sets and release. It's already got a ton of levels with it. They're saying if they were to create more later on, which, there's not even an announcement whether it may end up being free DLC or something, but...
Well, I recently heard that Donald Trump bought a whole lot of Sega stock, so I guess he's making Sonic great again.
Really?
No, I just had to go for that.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, well, I guess all my Sega stuff is a bigot now, so I got to get rid of it.
You got to race up the wall.
Why would he invest in an all-black console?
The Dreamcast was white, except for the special editions.
That was the oddball. And, of course, Sega's kind of racist, if you think about it. The
Yeah.
only black Dreamcast they had was the sports edition.
Yeah. God, he's so racist, Sega.
Damn you, Sega. Damn you, Donald Trump. Fuck you, too, Hillary Clinton.
Fuck everyone.
We're so fucked.
Yeah.
What a dark time. Their newsflash, we're all fucked.
Fuck Hillary. Fuck Trump. Vote lump.
Vote lump.
8-Bit, though, the company that made the Bluetooth NES controller, they got an SNES controller now. And its
Sexy.
receiver that you can use with it also works for the DualShocks 3 and 4, the Wii Oats, the Wii U Pro, and all the other 8-Bit controllers.
That's pretty amazing.
That's pretty
I
sweet.
wouldn't mind investing
I
in
know
one of
the
those.
receiver is only like $35. I think the controllers themselves are like $25. But if you got like Wii remotes with the classic controller, or the Wii Pros, or like the DualShocks, you just need the receiver.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of controllers, the Nintendo Plug and Play, did you see how much the controllers for that's going to be?
No,
$9.99.
that ain't bad.
No, that's pretty. I thought that was really fair.
Yeah, it is. Especially for something
that's almost unheard of now.
Especially for something you could plug into your Wii remote and use.
Play your virtual console games.
Which,
with.
the Wii remote, if you turn it sideways, is practically an NES controller.
Yeah.
Just different.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and throw this one out there before I get to the second one. There's a homebrew company called the Mojon Twins. They're out of Spain. And I haven't played it. I've watched the little videos and just seen the headline. But they have a new homebrew SNES game called Yun, Y-U-N, out. And the premise of the game is you are a bubble-blowing demon that fills a pantry at a sushi restaurant. It kind of looks like a bizarre mix of Bubble Bobble and Metroid because it's got open level design like Metroid, but
shit.
Play looks kind of like Bubble Bobble.
That's an odd combination.
You can actually you can search for it on Google. Search Mojon Mojon Twins, and the game Yun. Search it. They have it on their actual website. Free download, free ROM.
Cool.
To get and check out. So if you're interested in a new SNES game, there you go.
Well, while we're on Nintendo news, Nintendo shares plummeted because them bastards figured out they did not own Pokemon Go.
How crazy is that? Like they took a little bit of a dive.
It was I think 17% dive. Now, I always knew that Nintendo didn't own Niantic, the people who
I thought they had more stake in Pokemon Company than what they do.
I did too. I thought they
18% is what I read.
It's a third, roughly. Well, that's what I read, 2 different sources. But, yeah, I always thought they just outright owned them. So,
you know, that makes a little more sense. You know how Nintendo's always been with movies. They're like we're not making a movie of all of our properties, and then all of a sudden, you know, they announced Legendary's making Pokemon movies.
Yeah.
So maybe, you know, them not full on owning Nintendo is kind of one of the factors that allowed that movie to get made.
In the future, though, we might see Pokemon games on non-Nintendo consoles. I doubt it.
I think it would have to like take the NX bombing and Nintendo going the route that Sega goes. You know, where they're kind of like, oh, we're strictly software now.
Yeah. And I don't see that happening for a while, even though Nintendo posted their largest net loss for a financial quarter this last quarter. Largest one in 5 years, rather. Any funding they do get from Pokemon Go is going to be in the next quarter. So they're still... Yeah, I thought this was going to be a big boon for them financially, but no. So like the one big major plus I saw to Pokemon Go is null and void. It sucks.
Yeah. Speaking of Nintendo, there's some NX news that's begun circulating within the past couple days.
Yep.
This comes out of a report somewhere in Europe. They're saying the NX is a handheld hybrid that has a TV docking station. Essentially.
Yeah, from what I saw, it's basically a tablet where you can attach controllers on either side to kind of make it look like the gamepad for the Wii U, and you dock it for your TV.
Slightly less powerful, possibly. This is all hearsay. It is slightly less powerful than the PlayStation 4, is what I read.
It's less powerful than the Wii U. I'm pretty sure because it's got that. I'll have to look at it again. I could be wrong. It's got that NVIDIA Tegra. It's a mobile processor. So whatever specs they spout, it's not going to live up to it. That's just the nature of the mobile processor. They just... Yeah, you tell me it runs at 3 gigahertz. Bullshit. Compared to a desktop 3 gigahertz. You know, there's... That shit varies a lot. I mean, they're technically right, but it don't run like that. So I'd be surprised if it's more powerful than the Wii U.
They're saying though it is going to be cartridge based.
Yeah.
That is kind of almost a confirmed thing.
And I'm guessing those cartridges are going to be more like SD
cards. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. We'll wait and see. Nintendo's still.
I saw that the size is probably going to be around 32 gigabytes. So that's a respectable size.
We'll see. Nintendo's always been. I just hope they're not relying full on gimmick. You know, like they have.
I'm wondering if they're going this route to maybe like just combine the DS and the home console market to where they only have one product.
I don't know. It probably makes sense because honestly, when you. Sorry for the bag rattling. I'm receiving cold beers. Would you like another?
No, thanks. This is doing a number in my heartburn.
It's Natty Light is not so natural in your stomach.
No.
Let me tell you. You know, that what I was getting at, though, is that's one thing that's kind of helped Nintendo hang on recently is their handheld department. Because Game Boy, you know, outlived fucking... You want to be super technical about it, Game Boy is the longest living Nintendo console. It lived through what?
NES and SNES?
4 generation. I don't think Game Boy Advance came out till the 64 era.
It was almost close to the GameCube.
GameCube is what I meant.
Yeah.
Actually, Game Boy Advance came out around the same time as GameCube.
Yeah.
So 3 generations.
Because I remember around then being amazed that the Game Boy Advance could play like SNES quality games.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh shit.
And and they still made Game Boy games a little ways into the Game Boy Advance lifespan. Mm-hmm. That's one bandwagon I never got on real hard. I would never have been a real big fan of the Game Boy Advance. I love Game
Me
Boy,
either. There's a lot of great games for it.
Oh,
Just-
yeah,
I
indeed.
skipped on it. But you know, one thing that even if Pokemon Go doesn't benefit Nintendo now, they got the new Pokemon coming out I think this year, right? Around the
Sun and
holidays.
Moon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, if all these quote unquote Pokemon fans actually are fans of Pokemon and not shitty mobile games, they'll go out and get a DS, 3DS, and the new Pokemon games, and Nintendo will benefit from that.
You know, that last statement you made brings me beautifully to my next and final topic that I kind of want to raise a little hell about briefly. You're talking about all these people playing Pokemon, and kind of like we talked about the past 2 episodes, because the Pokemon Go epidemic still is a big thing right now. And talking about how all these people are like, oh, I love video games. I suddenly, am emotionally invested in video games. You know, like, these people are...
Yeah.
They don't know shit about games. So, something that's really just pissed me off on social media the past couple days is, okay, Nintendo announces their plug and play, which is, you know, another... generating some huge buzz.
Yeah.
Because that's just not something Nintendo does.
Yep.
And of course, it's just in time for holiday season.
And for those who don't know what we're talking about, the NES Mini.
Yeah. The one that it's got the 30 games built into it.
Yep.
And all that cool shit. Well, there's a bunch of bigger media groups like Maxim.com and all these people are all posting these fucking like clickbaity type things.
That's exactly what it is.
Being like, Sega enters the new age retro war. And I've got friends on Facebook that are all like, oh, I'm so excited, it's a new retro war. And I'm just like, you are fucking kidding me, man. Like, if you truly loved video games and knew a little bit more about video games,
If you walked into a Dollar General anytime in the last 2 years.
4 years.
Yeah, 4 years.
I had one when I lived out in Good Hope. AT Games makes we've reviewed them on some of our episodes earlier on. We've talked about them. We talked about the handheld I sold you, and I had the AT Games one. Like, for what it is Sega's been putting these things out for like 4 years through a company.
Well,
called,
At Games has.
At Games
they
has.
license it. Is all it is.
And it's pretty much a really bad, cheap run Genesis with like 80 games built in. 40 of the games being like Sega games, and the other 40 pretty much being fucking cell phone games.
Yeah.
And they sell these things at Dollar General for like $40. The same company that makes like the fucking Atari Flashback and Television Flashback, Coleco Flashback, all that. These things have been out, and I've seen so many people being like, "Oh, it's getting heated." Like, I'm just like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. These things have been out forever. This isn't. I wish everybody would stop acting like this is a new fucking thing, and just producing more clickbait themselves. Like, I personally called somebody on Facebook, "Oh man, it's like a new retro war," and I'm like, "No, it isn't. This shit has been going on for years."
Yep.
It's never, and it's not even whoop-de-fucking-do. Nintendo's putting out an NES Mini. That's not sparking a console. If you want to talk about like a retro war, talk about these indie people that's been making these like fucking EverDrive carts and all this shit, homemade fan hacks and repros and shit for all these years. I'm like, they're not doing anything new. They're just conveniently packaging it in a way so they can get more people that don't know jack shit about video games. And I mean, I plan on owning an NES Mini. I think it's a great thing.
I might end up getting one for both
it.
my kids around Christmas time. I think are they coming out this year?
Comes out the day before my birthday, November 11th.
Yeah, I might end up getting a couple for my kids.
You know, it's you're getting pretty good bang.
$2 a game. They're all solid titles.
Yeah, and you know, that's cool as shit. It's small. You can, you know, they announced the dates for Southern Fried 2017 today. If we go there next year, that would be convenient to carry and just throw up on the TV in a hotel room, you know, for your downtime. Anything like that. But it just, it irks the fuck out of me when I see people like on here posting all this shit. And I'm just like, dude, a lot of these people I see, I'm just like, you've been playing video games for like, what, 6 months now?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Like, stop producing more crappy clickbait than what's already fucking out there. It's not that difficult.
Quit giving them money for things.
Stop feeding the hog.
Yeah.
But that's my my Sega news / rant.
I've only got a couple more bits. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 have been re-released. And, have you ever played those games?
No, I've never played them. I've seen a little bit of the first one being played.
They're pretty fun. They're
that's like the RPG-ish.
Yeah,
like
it's top-down view, and it's more like Diablo.
Yeah.
Except I'm pretty sure there's no loot. You just power up your characters. I used to play the first one a lot. I never really got into the second one. They've been re-released, but it's kind of steep. You can get one or two for $40 each, or you can get both of them for $60. So
nice.
For that old of a game, like you can go into GameStop, any given GameStop, and buy 3 of them for $2 each, probably on the 360. So that's kind of steep. They did enhance the graphics and redo some of the stuff.
Polish some shit a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't see it being worth that price tag. If you get both of them for $30 re-released, I'd jump all over that.
No, yeah, that might be cool. Both those games got pretty stellar reviews.
Oh, they're good. They're all good games. They got a good story. I know the second one follows the Civil War arc. The first one, I don't
Doesn't the first one have something to do with Apocalypse?
I don't recall if it had much to do with him. Dr. Doom was the main guy in the first one. I'm pretty sure it was Dr. Doom. Don't quote me. It's been a long time since I've played that game.
That's cool, though.
And another thing is the Final Fantasy 15 film Kingsglaive has been set to release August 30th or in select cinemas on the 19th. And not interested. Because I've got a subscription to Crunchyroll now because I've been watching the new Berserk anime. And I tried watching the Final Fantasy 15 anime that's on there. And the story is not interesting at all. There's nothing interesting about it to me. Go back to 6 and 7. That they have these really interesting worlds. And this one is it's like modern day technology or modern day society, I guess.
They have automobiles and such.
Yeah. And for whatever reason, like all the characters, their weapons just appear out of thin air. No real explanation why, and it's kind of cheesy. Not in a good way cheesy. It's just I'm like, why? It's
not like Predator, like decloaking an invisible weapon or some shit.
And there's nothing threatening the world at large, it seems. I watched the first, I think, 4 episodes, and so far it's just like bullshit. Oh, this kingdom's invading this kingdom because of reasons. And the characters, none of them are interesting. The main character, Noctis, is like a prince, and he's just an emo bitch, kind of,
Nice.
That's, I don't know. I guess that's...
This whole game's about My Chemical Romance not getting back together and him being
pretty
pissed.
much. It's...
If I find 15 crystals to reunite them, they will get on stage again.
Yeah, nothing about it looks interesting. Maybe the game's going to turn out good. I don't know. I'm just, from what I've seen, story-wise, I'm not sold. I need something more to hook me than just, basic-ass drama.
I know nothing about it. My friend Kyle the other day, me and him were texting about it, and he pretty much told me just to get download the demo. So he was like, the demo is worth checking out.
I've read it's pretty good. It plays good. But other than that, I don't know. I'm not interested in it.
Honestly, and I may get people that hate on me for this, but I haven't found a Final Fantasy storyline really worthwhile, I didn't think, since 7. And I do like 7, but 6 is still
it's
my favorite. 3 here, but...
Yeah. 13 was good, and I'm probably going to get flogged for that, but 13...
I never played past 10.
13 suffered from bad pacing and bad choices in the way they named things and the way they told the story. Like, the story itself, once you kind of understand it, it's good. The world's kind of interesting. I like the characters. Most people are like, oh, Lightning sucks. I'm like, no, Lightning is reserved. Lightning is she's a real strong character, something that Final Fantasy's lacked for a long time. They've had these fucking pussy characters like was it Titus and 10, and I fucking hate these bitch ass characters like, oh, I scraped my knee. I'd
rather be playing ball.
She's out to do one thing at a time. She's driven, but she's not very emotional, and she's almost like a dude, I guess you say. She's just a normal guy, except it's a girl. You know, I like that character a lot. It's when their emotions are like subtle and more human to me. I enjoy that more, rather than everything being overplayed and over dramatized.
Yeah.
But yeah, 13 did suffer a lot. I still haven't played 13.2 and 13.3, but that was the last one I enjoyed. Which, I mean, 14 was after that, and that's a fucking MMO. And I could not get into that.
Like I said, I literally haven't played anything past 10. I never made it all the way through 10. I didn't.
Once I got to the guy who joins your team who plays like volleyball or whatever, and he's using that to attack enemies, I'm like, nope, I'm done. Fuck it.
10 makes me think of if they made a Top Gun movie in the Final Fantasy universe.
Yeah.
And a bad Top Gun, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, even worse than Top Gun.
No, from everything I've seen, 10 looks like a good game in its own right. It's not for me. I can't connect to the characters. It's got the fucking volleyball guy. It's got the pussy-ass main character. It's got a couple decent characters, like the one of the summoner bitches.
They got way more anime. Like, well, I mean, they've all been,
yeah,
you know, but they didn't seem, 7 didn't seem as much like an anime to me. Does that make sense? You know, like,
it didn't follow quite so many tropes, but then again, at the time, 7 there wasn't that many. We weren't exposed to that many anime tropes when 7 came out, so that might be why it seems like that.
That was about the same time that manga and everything was really kind of starting to take a foothold over here.
Yeah, there was a whole lot of it for a good while over here, and it's mainly as the internet became better, we became more exposed to that, because that's just how things work like that. Cultures mix more when you can communicate better.
Oh yeah, the internet's done a lot of pros and cons for retro gaming, you know? Like,
yeah.
When we were kids, still having to get our fucking information from like Game Pro, Game Players, all those magazines we used to buy, you know, we were already 2 months behind by the time the magazine got to us. And you damn sure wasn't going to fucking find no Japanese games or none of that shit.
No.
Anywhere close.
If you did, you're like, oh, wow, this is cool. What the hell am I going to play this in?
Yeah. Well, see, I remember getting so confused because some of the... I want to say... Maybe it was Game Players or Ultra Game Players, one of the two... Or maybe it was Game Pro. I can't remember, but when they would preview like a Japanese game, it'd be like Mega Drive, or PC Engine, or Famicom, and that used to confuse the shit out of me. As I'm like, well, but it also had the only in Japan thing, so I'm like, well, I guess these are just like Japanese only consoles that will no idea that's a fucking Genesis, TurboGrafx, and NES, you know.
Yeah.
So, thank you, Internet.
Yep. I guess that's it for news.
I guess so. Join us again at 9 for the local crime report.
Cuckolding at 11.
Cuckolding at 11. And then at 12:30, Cuckold She Wrote.
You know, something we haven't really discussed on here. I guess it's a little bit on the news side. I'm going back to college.
Indeed.
So that means you probably won't see me some episodes because I work a full-time job and I'm going to be going to college and it's going to suck.
We're still going to be bringing you stuff, but Brandon's going to have to swing in and out some episodes. Understandable.
Yeah.
Hopefully, would be nice is at some point we could have some other members maybe.
Yeah.
Because I'm more than likely, my wife's just got a pretty big promotion at work, which may allow me to actually be able to go back and finish my shit now.
Yeah.
So that may be beneficial for both of us later on. But don't fear, the good old gamers, we're not going anywhere. We just may not, times get tough. We may not be pumping you out as just a regular bantery of foolishness every fucking week. That's just life. But as long as we're still alive, we'll try to bring you something decent. Or as distasteful as you like. Not decent, like, we'll try to bring you something that would make your fucking parents tell you to delete us.
Yeah.
That's cool, though. You excited about going back to school?
Yeah, I'm kicking my ass every day for not starting this about 3 years ago, so I could be quitting my job now. I don't hate my job. It's just it's not for me. I'm a machinist, and I'm just not a gearhead.
It's understandable, man. Like,
And it's always been worth it for the money, but as the price of living skyrocketed and the raises have been trickling, other fields are looking more tempting now.
well, money is a huge factor of it. But on a job and shit like that, and being adults now, you do have to take in mental health
Yeah,
to consideration. And I mean, you can make all the fucking money in the world you want, but if you're still fucking miserable, it doesn't really matter. I'd much rather have to, take another route to be happier than have to just be like punching a check and just, well, I'm making a lot of money, but I might go home and suck the ass in out of a Schlossberg.
Yeah.
That's cool though. We'll see how things are.
Yep.
I have been a piece of shit. I have no Arcade Arcana, no What's in Your Hands. My arcade is kind of feffed up right now. Me and Brandon's going to take a look at it tonight. My controls are not working. So I haven't really got to play any arcade stuff, and I damn sure...
You're not supposed to splooge onto the control panel at all.
Nobody...
I know you're playing the naughty Mahjong games.
I didn't get the fucking memo, apparently.
Yeah, it does not lube the buttons.
Well, that goddamn guy must have lied to me then.
He did lie.
He told me I could have all the actual free lubricant I wanted to. I just had to close my eyes and gather it out of a tiny little hole.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I just ripped South Park off really hard. I'm ashamed.
Well, I didn't catch it, so as far as I'm concerned, you're good.
Well, I just gave myself away. I got away with it for a goddamn dog and them kids. I guess topic or
topics.
Do you wanna do topics?
Let's do topics.
Have you played something decent this week? You did Baldur's Gate, didn't you?
I'm not far enough along that I can really do it justice. Like, I could probably talk about it enough, but I haven't prepared everything I want to prepare for it. You don't just fucking half-ass Baldur's Gate. It takes some time to do it justice. So, it might not even be next week, but Baldur's Gate is coming.
Well, I can't, I've beaten the game that I played. I made it to level 3 the other night. I think there's 6 levels for the game I'm talking about. And I actually have one cool thing about this game is it has great music. That's one of the few things it has going for it. But what I played this week, I've been piddling around on PS1 and playing a game called Loaded, made by Interplay and Gremlin.
Hold it up to your camera. Well, I guess no one's going to actually see it, but
well, I mean,
in case we ever do go back and publish these old trial and error films.
Loaded.
I miss those old PS1 cases. So much cooler than the jewel cases.
Oh yeah, man.
Now I understand that the jewel cases are way more convenient because you can put them in a standard CD rack, but those are way cooler.
I agree. Like, they looked way neater because I mean there was no box that was really the straight up like that and had like the hinged
and ribbed for her pleasure.
Had the little. It's got the little styrofoam fucking. Not styrofoam, just like foam insert.
Yeah, that you soak in chloroform and knock out your neighbor.
I'm pretty sure the neighbors I have are the ones that would do the chloroforming. Hopefully not.
Either way, you got the perfect basement.
Yeah, I do. Oh, to answer your question on Facebook, this is kind of side note here. They debuted the new Blair Witch trailer at Comic-Con this week.
Yeah.
I made $28 and got a whole Dollar General bag of those little Blair Witch stick figure things. For
nice.
Use my basement. If you look at the actual last 30 seconds of the trailer, that's my basement.
Yep.
You can see me standing in the corner if you look real hard. You just gotta. I'm somewhere around the. I don't know, 232 mark.
He's a guy jacking.
I don't even fucking. Yeah. Just look for awkward hand motions. Anyways, the game I'm playing is Loaded. It is a top-down run-and-gun game for the PS1. It had all of your mid-90s... It came out in 95, so it had all your mid-90s tropes for, like, PS1 games. It had a crazy, like, techno-metal soundtrack. Has really good lighting effects.
That's cool.
And lots of gore. It's pretty much... It's not a great game.
Now, how does it control? Is it like a twin stick shooter, maybe?
No, that's. I'm gonna kick some music on for this actually, because one of the few things this game does have going for it is it has a pretty decent soundtrack. This is
already very 90s.
This is level 1. Makes me think of like old first-person shooters, kinda.
Yeah. And like sci-fi
good.
movies.
Yeah. Well, the
like now is the time when the camera's panning and you see some like horrible monster come out of a field.
It's either that or it's like it's like intro music to a really bad show. Like the person's just turns around, you see their name on the screen.
Yeah.
And it's like a flash of like a UFO light. It's kind of like the X-Files intro, but way less of a budget.
Yeah.
The game, it's known as Blood Factory in Japan. I thought the name Blood Factory was so much fucking cooler.
Yeah, way
like,
better than Loaded.
That's
like
kinda,
if I went to rent a game, it was like Loaded. I don't know, just from that title, Blood Factory. Fuck yes, I'm
it
renting
makes me
this.
think of
Give me the whole
Metallica
weekend.
for a second.
Yeah,
where I'm just like, because there's also a sequel to this game called Reloaded.
Yeah, Blood Factory's way better.
I wonder,
they're 2 blocks away from Boner Factory, actually.
Well, if Loaded is Blood Factory in Japan, is Reloaded a Plasma Factory in Japan?
Probably Blood Factory too.
Poor attempt at humor.
So poor.
I'm just so poor. Like fucking dead in a box in the rain poor. One thing I'll say, being top down and run and gun, this is kind of like the 90s Hotline Miami to me in a way. Just like style wise as, being overhead, running and gunning. It actually has a pretty decent, a pretty steady frame rate, which is one thing you don't see in a lot of the earlier PS1 games.
Yeah.
It controls like Gauntlet. It does not. You imagine this game would control more like Smash TV.
Yeah.
It doesn't. You can go up, down, or you can move in a diagonal way. L1 and R1 is kind of like a strafing. You can hold them both down at certain points, and it makes the character strafe.
Okay.
Essentially, and you have to figure out how to do that in later levels because it's one of those games where it's pretty good. It's a decent game, but it kind of, the things that it wants you to do, it also works against you by you doing them. For example, it wants to be a running gun. Like, it wants you blasting shit constantly, but it puts a limit on your ammo. Mm-hmm. They want you to be, it touts it as being fast-paced and constant. And they want you to be fast-paced, but they put you in these huge fucking labyrinths where once you kill shit,
you gotta figure out where to go.
Exactly. And pretty much the premise of the game is you're walking around in rooms and killing shit and getting colored key cards to access other areas and go. And you can get your basic shit, like you can get more ammo, more powerful ammo, health. You can get like certain bombs and shit, like screen clearing bombs, all that good shit. There's you can pick from 6 characters. There's Mama, which is actually I'll hand this over here to you so you can see what they look like while I tell you about them. You have Mama, who's a big fat woman. You have Flank, who is the homicidal clown-looking thing on the cover. Which this game is actually an origin. It has origins in like DC Comics. I think it was a Vertigo comic. You have Bouncer, Fox, which is the sexy woman.
Yeah, I'm looking at her, and I might as well just throw it up here on the old camera.
Yeah.
But she has she looks like the Burger King kid's big sister, like with those glasses.
Oh shit! Yeah,
It's just the big, like, massive 80s glasses. I don't know what word there is for them.
80s.
Yeah.
There's her. There's Butch, which is a crazy guy that wears a dress, and Captain Hands, which is kind of like
these
an undead sick or cowboy type dude.
These days, Butch would probably catch a lot of flack from the social justice warriors. Oh my god! Look how you're showing or portraying the
transgenders.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck PC people.
Yeah.
It's good, just like shooting up fun, pretty much, I know a little bit about the story. The story is pretty much, it's in the future. They've colonized like a bunch of inhabited worlds all throughout the galaxy. Pretty much, these dudes are like going around these planets and dropping like essentially dropping different enemies all over these different planets and shit. And pretty much what it happens is they send these sociopathic killers to these places to like decolonize the area.
Sociopath!
Yeah, pretty much. Like they're collecting the fuck out of some stamps.
Now, I take it it's a fairly early into the PS1's life cycle because of that case.
95.
So how do we say it stands up to your average early PS1 release?
It's good, I think, for an early PS1 release. The sequel, they try to fix a bunch of shit that was addressed in this one and inadvertently just fuck it up a lot harder. The sequel's garbage. It's typical PlayStation sequel trash. This is pretty good, though. The story is... I could sit here and give you a hyper-detailed thing of the story off of the internet, but it's some weird sci-fi shit.
I take it doesn't convey it well in the game, then.
It doesn't. Like, there's really nothing in the game. It just kind of throws you in and you play.
Okay.
There's like little text scenes here and there, but it's still... Like, this fucking description I'm looking at right here is like 8 paragraphs long, and
well, there's a fair amount in the manual.
Yeah,
and this was kind of around the time where they still expected you.
There's
to have
a
manuals.
good chance that actually all of that shit I'm looking on my computer screen is actually
straight out of the
manual. It would not surprise me. It is, by God, straight out of the manual. Yeah.
I miss the times when games had manuals that like told you about the game and stuff.
I'm just going to give you a quick rundown on the story. Via loaded its manual. Here's the story. You're in jail, not any jail though. This is the jailer's jail. Situated in the most inescapable...
Not the janitor's jail. They're the burger flippers jail.
The jailer's jail. Situated on the most inescapable and inhospitable barren balls of rock anywhere in the galaxy, the planet Rolf, Raullf. Long ago, the powers wow, these people do not know how to use commas. Long ago, the powers that be built an enormous jail that could not contain even the most dangerous and desperate criminals in the galaxy. Individuals who would do nothing more than the most despicable things at the drop of a hat. People who do not value any form of life, which doesn't have a name, vital statistics, or fingerprints. That is Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton to the T.
Pretty much, yeah.
It was just minus being in prison. They're just in the biggest social club on the planet. It was a model prison for several decades. Several decades until a certain character called Fub, which stands for Fat Ugly Boy, became the head warden. Nobody is quite sure how he attained such a high position in such a short time, but the fact that several worthy candidates for the position died suddenly seemed to help. Fub is largely an unknown quantity. And very little is known about him. We do not know wow, this is like Virgin English. We know this backwards, that he likes to bore the waste products out of most line forms with his long-winded, verbose rambling about when he was in the Sector Marines. All the stories concern field kitchens, though, since he only appeared in Catering Corps. Did I tell you the last time I dropped an entire jar of progressinyl phenart powder into the cooking pot?
Okay.
PLUSGRIL plus Grill? I
don't know.
Phenart. FNART. Phenart powder. Since the days, though, Fub is really going down in the world, barely stopping for breath, it seems. It all started when he used a bare desert front during one of the most obscure skirmishes in the last 40 years. Not able to find some meat for the main dish, and obviously not wanting to let the boys down, he cooked and served his legs up in a rich broth. Despite it being the best dish he had ever created, Fub was still given an unconditional discharge and asked to never show his face again. He then set about radically altering his appearance, fitting hydraulic-powered legs to his torso, and gaining enough weight to put his new legs under stress. He also took to smoking big fat Havanas, wearing furry dice, and painting a target on his portly belly. Why? Don't ask me. This type of behavior may seem strange to the average person, but there's nothing average about Fub. He defies all known logic. Fub seems to have some sort of master plan, some illogical reason to be with the scum of the universe. While most prisoners on Rolf don't know that Fub had been up to this with his own little dirty tricks and double crosses, they're deliberately poking scum of the galaxy in the hope that they would escape and come after him with revenge looming in their minds. While they've been safely incarcerated, Fub has been a busy boy. He's been toying with the very fabric of the universe, creating a machine that changes the way of normal laws and physics and how they behave. With it, he is able to manipulate existing terrain, replace it with other terrain, even open doorways to other dimensions. With this mighty weapon, he hopes to hold planets, solar systems, and even entire galaxies for ransom. He aspires to be the most feared and influential individual in the entire history of the galaxy. He believes the only way he can possibly be stopped by a group of dangerous, pissed-off lawbreakers who have a very large axe to grind. This is why he frames so many people in the first place. He sees it as a challenge. If he can defeat the group of the most feared individuals in the galaxy who are armed to the teeth, he figures he can defeat anyone, and who are we to say otherwise? To this end, Fub seems to be kind of encouraging the prisoners to escape from Rolf by booby-trapping the infra-security structure of the prison, all enough supplying the pass keys for doors. His objective seems to be slowly reeling them in deeper and deeper into the despicable web of megalomania, and ultimately, he believes, to their deaths. So it's the story of any other prison. You got a fucking warden on a warpath.
Yeah.
Right?
He wants to destroy the universe for his own game, mostly.
Well,
I've seen that played out more than once.
Cliche. If you want to be cliche, if you want to be a fucking villain, figure out how to do so. You know, like, you think about it, with the way people are now, the people trying to save the world are almost villainized. So, just don't end the world, try to save something. Somebody be like, oh.
Or, be like, oh, I can alter all time and space. Well, nobody has pants now.
Yeah.
Good luck. You don't have pants. All the pants in the universe gone.
What's his super villain power? He makes people fat. But, that's pretty much, loaded. It's top down. You can get it for, $10. I would say it's worth owning for, the early PS1 lineup. It's not bad. Okay. It's certainly not the best game I've ever played, but it's certainly not the worst. The control is the most flubbing thing with it, and it kind of gets monotonous at times after a while, because like I said, you'll pander through labyrinths and shit constantly, and every fucking thing looks the same after a while.
Well, for my game, I need you to pull up a soundtrack for me. I totally forgot to get you to go ahead and get this ready.
On YouTube?
Yep, on the YouTube. Figure it'd be a lot easier than bringing it in. Look up Zombies Ate My Neighbor soundtrack.
Oh, nice, dude.
Because it's a great soundtrack.
That's already turned down.
Yeah.
Nice.
There's a SNES and Genesis version. To my knowledge, there's not much difference between them, except for the SNES's superior sound.
Oh, yeah.
Great fucking game. 1993 by Konami.
And LucasArts.
That's a recent one, right? Like with the re-release, ain't it? Or was it back then too? I think that was the Virtual Console.
I do not know. I will, while you're talking, I will. So you want me to put some more volume on that?
Yeah, throw a little bit more to it. There we go.
Oh, fucking love that, man.
That's great.
Makes me think of like Mars Attacks and shit.
Yeah. Zombies Ate My Neighbors, though. It's a 2-player game where you can play as a rad little boy or a totally rockin' little girl. And your goal is to save your neighborhood from zombies and all other sorts of monsters. Monsters like vampires, werewolves, a giant baby. I think there's more than one, I think. I know there's one. I've never beaten this game completely.
It was developed by LucasArts and published by Konami.
Okay.
Very cool.
It's got aliens, it's got giant ants, and the worst, in my opinion, is the evil dolls.
It is the perfect culmination of like the 50s horror movie tropes. Like giant giant monsters, aliens. The box art for Zombies Ate My Neighbors is one that always the most that people that's never even played that game recognize that box art. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yep. It's one of those games, if you rented games a lot, it was almost always rented out because the box art drew people to it, even if they never heard of it.
Perfect, like that perfect shitty like 50s. It came from another planet.
Yeah.
You know.
It's one of them games that you can just sit down with a friend and play for fucking hours. I don't know what the last level is. It's a long fucking game though. I've yet to beat it, and but every minute of it's fun. It just gets harder and harder as time goes on. But the gameplay is, I guess you'd call it a top-down or isometric shooter. You play as the boy and or girl, and your main weapon is water guns. And I guess they have holy water in them. I don't know. It doesn't really say. It makes sense though. But yeah, you squirt the zombies and other monsters with water, kills them. You also got a whole other myriad of other weapons. There's bazookas, there's weed eaters. I love the weed eaters.
Oh yeah.
Explosives, soda cans, popsicles. There's dishes and silverware. There's flamethrowers and fire extinguishers. And one of the enemies, and I don't know if you consider it an actual enemy, is it's a plant that grows, and that's what the weed eater is really good for. It's like the only way I know to get past them.
Talking about like the vine type thing.
There's like these little vines that grow across the ground. The game requires keys to get around, and that's a big part of it is collecting the keys and going through doors in the right order if you want to maximize your loot and all that stuff. And the loot comes in the form of just more ammo and health packs and potions that turn you into like a badass monster.
That means it's cracking me up.
That's awesome. You can drink these potions and they turn you into like this hell beast, and you just run around and fuck shit up, just punch it to death. It's great.
Nice.
Trying to think, one of the main boss that sticks out in my head is the giant baby.
Yeah.
And you do enough damage to it and it shrinks into just a normal sized baby. But to get past these levels, not only
it's Rick Moranis' child. He's like, honey, I blew up the baby.
Yeah, not only do you have to like kill all these monsters to make it to the exit of the level, but you got to save the civilians. It's come in the form of like kids, I think babies at some point,
families and shit.
You got to save at least one for each level, but the more you save, the better. And that's really the basic premise of the game, man. It's one of them games, like, man, back in my pothead days, you get high as shit and you can just play this game to the end of the night, man. It's
got a bunch of that quirky ass humor in it.
Yeah,
like,
it does.
It makes me think of a weird blend of like Day of the Tentacle, or not, well, like Maniac Mansion.
Yeah.
Like not point and click wise, but just like
the art style,
quirky humor and art style. And you remember that game Poltergeist?
No.
Oh, and or no, was that the name of it? I think it was Poltergeist or something. You played as it was asymmetrical like this. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You play as a poltergeist, and you pretty much possess inanimate objects around this family's house to try to scare them out of the house.
Okay.
A lot of quirky humor and music similar and all that.
Yeah, I've never been bored of this game. I mean, I've never just like put hours and hours and hours into it, but I've never put this game down because I was bored with it. It's always entertaining to me. It's just one of those classics that it never ages. It looks good to this day. It's just because the way they did the art.
You'll be kind of hard pressed to find a copy of this
They're
somewhere.
not too terribly cheap now.
Yeah, it's still only about a $20-$30 game, but you can guarantee if this one comes up for grabs, somebody will buy this one up.
I think our buddy Juice has multiple box copies on the, I think, Genesis. But still, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
I might have hollered at him and be like, you want to come off one of these?
Yeah, it's a great fucking game for either system if you can get it on. But SNES is better just because the soundtrack.
Any music on SNES is going to be better.
Yep. Man, I wish I could really say more, but it's not a real in-depth game. It's got all kinds of different levels. You start off in this generic neighborhood. You end up like jumping over hedges with a trampoline, I believe. No, at one point you use a trampoline. Yeah, I think you jump over hedges with a trampoline. You know, the swimming pools, all kinds of shit like that. I know you eventually move on to like shopping malls, that kind of thing. It's just all urban environments. It's real cool. In the shopping malls, the fucking evil dolls, I fucking hate them. It's so fast.
Yes. They're fucking unrelenting at that level.
They're a real throwback to Chucky. I'm assuming anyways. I don't know what... Chucky's 80s, right?
Yeah, 80s and early 90s.
Yeah. So yeah, this would be a throwback to Chucky then. Pretty much any kind of horror trope you can think of is in here in some form. It's great.
Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
The Blob.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of the obscure, like the 50s kind of deals.
Yeah, the game doesn't take itself seriously at all.
No,
it's just a fun throwback to all these horror things.
Very cartoonish.
Yeah.
Now, wasn't there a sequel called Ghoul Patrol?
I think so, but I've never played it.
I want to say it was a sequel, but it was kind of like developed by different people.
Huh.
Another thing that make this game stick out to me is the main guy character wearing that kid is
3D shades.
That kid is full of fucking 90s attitude. Like he's got the backwards fucking button, or what do they call the button hats? Like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
He's got that fucking backwards baseball hat and 3D glasses. Like he's full of rad-tude, man.
Oh yeah,
full of it.
Yep, he's got all that fucking tude.
Such youth and such vigor.
You know, in the 90s, a little tude could do anything. That's why the Power Rangers, Zordon wanted teenagers with attitude. Gotta have that tude.
Man, speaking of Power Rangers, like they released some reboot pictures of like them in their costumes, and there are people literally bitching that they do not look like the TV show.
I think we talked about that last time.
Oh yeah, we did. Oh, it's happening even worse now. So.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, I guess that's about it for Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Definitely at least emulate it if you haven't played it.
Oh yeah, it's a great game.
Yeah, really recommend it.
Yeah, it was not the smoothest in the world. It'll be okay. I think you should get an applause for talking about that game.
I figured it'd be a good one because it's not real in depth, but you know, I just went there and got myself a refresher on it not long ago. Because I've been working on Baldur's Gate, and I forgot how fucking long that game is. I mean, I could have told you any time it's long, but it's fucking long. I haven't beat that game since I was like 18 or so it's been a good 10 plus years since I've beat it, and I've forgotten so much of it.
I've never played those games at all.
I wish we could we might try and see if we can go through 2 together. Two's a better entry point because 2 kind of uses 3.0 and 2.0 rules, like a weird mix of them. It's a lot more user friendly. 1 it's very arcane, and it's because it uses full 2nd edition D&D rules, and if you want to min-max your stats, you pretty much have to do general relativity to figure out your Thaco and all that bullcrap. So, 2nd's Second one's better. It's also a lot. It's a lot more high fantasy. It goes up into really high levels, so it's you don't have to worry about your characters dying from one mage casting magic missile. Yeah.
No, yeah.
Because when you start off in Baldur's Gate, you're fucking fragile, and there's a lot of saving and loading involved.
You're going to fetch some fucking potions from a village downwind, and it's like you died of dysentery.
Yeah.
Well, since we're done with our topic, do we want to do? You got a hot and steamy?
No hot and steamy. My only Steam game I've been playing here again, Vindictus. They've had events going. It's about done. So,
do we want to tell some true tales from Alabama?
We want to tell a true tale from Alabama.
Get weird with us here in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this week we bring you another strange but completely true tale from Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Brendan's first story was about Jabba the Hutt at the buffet. And
when
then,
I went back and listened to it, I realized, I guess the bear in me, I left out the best part of that.
Oh, wow.
And it's the part...
See, 2 episodes ago.
Yeah. And I don't even know... I think when I told you about it, I left this part out because it was so fucking funny. I didn't want to ruin it. But they were having a conversation, about old TV shows. And they're like, oh, you remember Double Dare? Do you remember Nickelodeon Guts and all this stuff? And the girl in the conversation, she said... Do you remember? Was it Temple of the
Legends of the
Legends of the Lost Temple,
Hidden Temple, or something like that?
She said that, and they all got fucking quiet. And the father guy said, "I damn told you not to talk about that around me." And he got fucking pissed. He was so pissed about that.
You think maybe he went on that show and one of them fucking... The fucking templesmen grabbed him like they did. It just scarred his eyes for life.
I don't know, but he was fucking livid for a couple minutes about her bringing up that Legends of the Lost Temple.
I bet you, his first wife run off with her lover to Lost Temple, and he just...
This family...
Goddamn Lost Temple!
I got the feeling from that family that all they did is sit around and watch TV. That's all they fucking did. So something about that show pissed him off.
Dude, I'd hate to know how he felt about fucking Sanford and Son or something. Sanford and Son made me strike my goddamn wife. That bitch's mouth is fucking wired shut because I just don't watch goddamn Sanford and Son. I won't do it. But anyways, that's probably a true tale from Alabama. But this one's kind of a weird one.
Yeah, and we never experienced this one together, but we have on separate occasions.
Both stories that we've told you the past 2 weeks both involve strange people that live here, and this one does too. But never in a million years would I have ever expected the Lord Jesus Christ to be living in Coleman, Alabama.
And not the Mexican Jesus, no.
No. The white Christian Jesus Christ. Hence, white Christian Jesus Christ.
The Anglo-Saxon Jesus, not Middle Eastern Jesus.
Indeed. What everybody believes to be the real Jesus.
Yeah.
People think I'm crazy, but this is we had in Coleman County for a while, and there's a good chance that listeners may have heard of it because this dude walked all across
everyone
America.
That lived here there knew it.
This dude come to Coleman for a little while. He apparently gave up his job and everything and decided to try to live like Jesus. And dude's got long hair. Dude's got a beard because he's Jesus. He's got white robes and Jerusalem cruisers, flip flop or sandals.
A lot of the time, he was
barefooted. Yeah. I work at a general construction company, so that involves me going to my office, getting my work van, going to work. Well, I worked with my father at the time, and we're leaving at about 5:30 in the morning to go to a job. We turn out on one of the main highways in Coleman County. I hear, and I'm sitting propped up in the back seat, probably about to go to sleep, and I hear my dad go, whoa, Jesus! You know, and you hear somebody driving a fucking van say that, you're immediately like bracing for impact. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, we're about to wreck. And my dad's literally like, no, Jesus. And like, look out the window, and that dude is walking down the street in full regalia at like 5:30 in the morning, and I'm just like, holy shit, no pun intended. Like, I'm just kind of like, what the fuck is that? You know, like, I seen Santa Claus walking around Christmas time. Bicycle men are fighting for turf in Hansville. Now Jesus is here.
Yeah.
Like,
It's almost like Coleman with South Park.
it is. It is.
I always wanted to see Mall Santa's getting a fight with him. There can be only one.
Must cut one another's head off to see who the true Highlander is. But it just it's so weird. And that guy, like, he walked all across America, but he chose, like, and stayed.
He was in Coleman for months.
For a couple years.
Was it?
Yeah, it was a couple years. I don't know if he's around here now. He might have just, like, I don't know, finally was just like, I'm not making any money doing this, and I get tired of sleeping at people's houses. Time to get a real job.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's a carpenter.
I don't know. I know when I first saw him.
Tell us about your first experience with the Lord. When did he come into your When did he come into your heart?
When I first found Jesus, he was on Highway 31.
In pursuit of the Lakon Motel.
No, it was in Hansville, and I was riding the buddy. I'll leave his name out of it. I don't know.
I'm surprised Bicycle Man didn't see him be like, get off my roads, Jesus.
We go down 31. You know, it's a semi-busy highway. Depends on what time of the day. Some days you might not see a car in either direction. Some days you can't hardly fucking cross the street. But it's a rather low traffic level at time. No cars around. We're driving down, and I see a guy, in the distance walking. He's all in white. I'm like, what the fuck is that? When we get a little closer, and I was like, oh, it's Jesus. And my friend, he is a big time Christian too, but like not the type that really follows it. He just believed in it. Didn't really follow the rules they had in place.
He thought the fucking rapture was not happening, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he was driving, and he's in some kind of low end sports car. I don't remember what it is. Doesn't really matter. It's a sports car. A young, just out of high school dude can afford, so not great. Anyways, we get to a little crossing, and he like basically drifts across it, just skidding tires and everything, just to turn around and do a full 180, just so we can drive by this guy. We slow down and just staring at him so hard. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? I'm like, someone's gonna kill that guy.
You don't know any Romans around here, do you?
We drove by him several times, and I finally started yelling out, "Woo, Jesus!"
What Monty Python is it? Is it Life of Bride where they fake he's the Messiah? And he's like, he is the Messiah. He's like, I am not. He is too. He healed my foot. That guy goes, hail Messiah.
I have a buddy who at that time was working at a fish restaurant in Hansville.
Seafood World.
Seafood World. That was
God,
it.
I missed that place.
Yeah, and he said Jesus would walk in there, and he was one of the cooks in the night. But Jesus would walk in there, and
when he turned one tilapia into 14.
He would basically come in there and like just prey off their niceness, their willingness to feed Jesus.
They're like giving him all the baskets of those little hush puppies they can hand him. They're like,
and his boss lady, he said that owned the place. She's like a super tightwad. She's always cooking the books, cheating taxes. Like she would convince her high school employees or otherwise young employees who were dumb because they were young and working at Seafood World. She would convince them that they would make more money if they worked overtime off the clock because Uncle Sam would take more money out of their overtime. So she'd work them off the clock and pay them normal pay. And I'm like, simple fucking arithmetic will tell you.
You just kind of want to be like WWJD.
Yeah. But anyways, she's one of those types. The believers,
Yeah.
but not the type that follow. And the type that think that they throw money at a church that it forgives them.
Yeah, I'm going to pray like hell on my deathbed, and I
Yeah.
will be fine. One of those people.
Yeah, she's giving him all kinds of food, and he just went in there and he's like, "You gotta stop giving him food. He's just being a bum." And it pissed her off so bad. He said he nearly got fired over that one.
Well, I mean, isn't that initially what a bunch of people got pissed off at Jesus for back in the day? Like,
Jesus, you gotta get a job.
you know, if history serves me correctly, wasn't that one of the deals? They're like, hey, you can't go around putting this shit in people's heads. They're not going to work. We had a mass shortage on these fucking Nike 1237s back here. Like, my timeline may be inaccurate as fuck.
You know, I don't think the Jews killed him. I think he probably got lynched by fishermen. Because after you fed all those people fish, like the fishermen are like, fuck, no one's buying fish.
They're like, I've been out on this fucking water for 18 hours now, and I've caught 3. You catch one and turn it into 50. That's fucking cheating. You've just destroyed the honor of the sport, Jesus.
But yeah.
You've taken the what is it that Joel West said? You've taken the spirit out of the game.
Yeah. That's perfect. I remember, and he started like getting this local lore about him almost. Like I remember
His whole family died in a wreck, so he decided to be like Jesus. He's just like, oh, I don't even have a family or job.
it's Jesus. He died for your sins. Now he's coming back to kill you for yours. But no,
He's on a mission.
like I heard other people talking about him. Like one of my buddy's girlfriend was saying, "Oh, but he walks around everywhere barefooted. But if you look at his feet, they're immaculate." And I was like, "No, have you seen the guy? They're freaking disgusting. It looks like he's been doing river dancing and fucking cow
A
shit.
tar pit.
Yeah." All kinds of stuff like that. Like everyone that encountered him that really believed in this stuff. And there's a time there, around that time was about the time I started getting out of religion. But you know, it's around that time that I might have fell for some of this lore too. It's all kinds of shit. People saying, "Oh, my arthritis is hurting," and I had to talk with him, and after that, I felt way better. I'm like,
They talked about that shit in the Bible. If you really believe the Bible, it's called following false prophets and idol worship and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
they got you covered in there.
Yep.
You're just oblivious, I guess.
But yeah, that's one of the many interesting people you find here in Alabama.
Yeah. I
Trailer
kind
Park
of wonder
Jesus.
if he's still around, like where maybe he loafed off to.
Oh, I don't know why. I just
He might have walked across the Gulf of Mexico and down to Mexico.
yeah. I
terrible.
just had this vision of like him walking down the highway, and someone's like tire blows out, and they're like, "Oh Jesus, take the wheel," and just mows him over.
I just seen it in my head perfectly. He's just like, he's just like, I can't even describe it. I just see it like, I gotta have a second. Okay, you know that scene in that movie Meet Joe Black where Brad Pitt gets hit by 2 cars?
Yes.
It's not bad enough to get hit by 1, he gets hit by
Yeah.
2. He's just like bebopping down the interstate.
Dude, praise the Lord.
Multi-car pileup occurs, and they're just like, Jesus, take the wheel. He like puts his hand up to like use the force
Jedi Jesus.
to like push his car away and just. Oh, it's so fucking terrible. God damn it, it's so funny. I just see that all happen in my head. That's why I was laughing so hard. I'm like, damn, Jesus got mowed down by a fucking Prius. Not even a manly car. Oh, I haven't laughed like that since I was a little girl. Fuck. Ooh, okay. That was a true tale from Alabama for you. We might try to find that guy and interview him.
Oh, man, that'd be great. Ask Jesus what games he approves of.
Bible Adventures on NES, which we got a Kickstarter for a new version coming out. And they literally do. Oh, okay. So,
It's
calls?
Question and calls. You know,
Fan participations.
we reran our question because we didn't have anyone answer. We still didn't have anyone really answer. Mike McDaniel, the guy who asked the question, him and his wife asked the question. I'll go ahead and read his answer. I thought it was a good answer.
I agree.
Let me find it.
Dude, it is hotter than Kate Upton eating a banana in here.
It's pretty hot.
It is. I'm going
right.
to get me a Kate Upton poster to hang up in here so we can just gawk at it.
Do it. Yeah, he says, Badgerine looks like a honey badger mixed with a wolverine. No weakness, strong against poison types. Special move is 0 fucks. Evolves into Wolverager. Wolverager. Its hair on its face turns black and grows to resemble a comic hero. I wonder which one. Heals every round. Metal type. Special move is Berserker Rage. Weak against magnetic Pokemon. Evolves into Bub. Bub. Only says Bub, but says it too much. Rodent and metal types. Has 3 metal claws on each paw. Extremely hairy. Always smoking a cigar. Heals every round and has too many hit points. Has an unending rivalry with Pikachu to be the most popular Pokemon and appear on the most merchandise. that's
That is extremely accurate.
yeah.
That is extremely accurate. I think Mike should win just on that.
Yep. Be the first person that wins from your own question, Mike.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You're the
You
winner.
have broken internet radio history today.
Yeah. We need a new question. Chasen gave us the question, and I wrote it down. And then, like an idiot, I ripped those pages out of my notebook and threw it away because it was on my old news and stuff. So, Chasen, I need you to give us that question again. Until then, we got to come up with a question.
You may pause it for a minute?
Oh, I got one.
Okay.
Since we've been doing True Tales from Alabama,
I was thinking something along those lines.
regale us with a true tale or odd happening in your hometown.
Ah, indeed. What's something weird and funky that could only happen where you live at?
Yeah. Because I know Alabama is not the only place where this shit happens.
No. It does seem like the place to be, though. I mean, Jesus comes here, Santa Claus comes here. We got people that, like, bicycle vigilante gangs that run our streets at night.
Yep.
It's rough out here on these mean streets of Alabama. So do that.
Yep.
For sure. I guess we done berated you once with the phone number for our hotline. Our sexy hotline. We told you the number to call and why we like you to call. We didn't tell you why you should call.
And just to clear up for anyone who's just unsure, it's a Google Voice number. You call, you leave a message. You're not going to be live on the air or anything.
No,
it's just you drop a voicemail, we play it.
You know, even if you were to put something on there at the last minute, don't want it on there, as long as you can contact us before we record, we can wipe your existence from our database.
Unless you're an asshole, then we're going to play it on repeat.
Then we're going to share it with people and just show the world how big of a purveyor of dick sauce you are. But if you don't call us, there's a long set of rules that will come to pass if you don't call. And luckily, a couple people saved y'all's ass tonight. But here is said terrible things that will happen.
Yep.
Yep.
For those of you who haven't called the show, a warning. If you do not call, you will awaken Satan, and infants shall fall from the sky. Bears will feast on the slow and the witless. Vaginas will turn to stone.
There goes all your uncles and all your pussies.
Serpents rise from the ground. Fly into your sphincter and bite. Demons will travel back in time and rape your father.
Hell, Satan!
You've been warned.
Now that never gets old.
Hopefully you love your father, because if you don't love your father, you won't make a call, and then, you know, Pops gets raped by the devil.
Yeah.
It's nobody's blame but your own. We have a call from a new person tonight.
Yeah.
His name is Nick. So let's see what you got, Nick.
Good morning, mates. My name's Nick. First time caller, long time listener. Didn't know who to call, then I saw your Facebook post about psychic advice and all that. Well, just yesterday, Arvo, I was at a bookstore with Miss Sheila and saw some retro game consoles called the Retron. They had a couple of options for Super Nintendo controllers, but I said to Miss Sheila that I'd rightly buy one of these if the controllers were wireless. So an hour later, we're at Ground Continues over at Bottle Oak, and I checked my Facebook. There's a suggested post for a wireless Super Nintendo controller. I've been watching Stranger Things on Netflix. It's a right good show. And it's got me wondering if Facebook has got some kind of Russian Cold War spies telling Facebook what to sell me. What do I do?
That is a valid question indeed.
Yep.
Watch your corners. Check your six constantly. That's what I'd be doing.
Facebook definitely has Russian intelligence chasing after you. I mean, it's fucking Facebook. That's what they do. They gotta know what kind of things that you're looking into, so they can let all the news outlets know what kind of articles they can put out to make you outraged. Because nothing gets Facebook and news articles clicks like outrage.
Well,
Everyone's
if you notice,
gotta be
everybody didn't start being so fucking PC until Facebook became a big to-do thing.
Everyone's got to be pissed off all the time. They know that. They know there's just nothing better to generate traffic like outrage. And I don't know, so maybe we'll see some, like, I don't know, SNES rape stories or something. Like someone killed a gorilla with a Super Nintendo. No. They
just throw a Super Nintendo down into the gorilla cage, and the gorilla hangs himself with the controller for no fucking reason. He's just like, I can't understand this, so I'm going to kill myself with it.
On the topic of the SNES wireless controller, we talked about that in the news, though, that the
Sega,
the 8-bit dough,
or 8-bit, yeah, sorry,
yeah, the 8-bit dough just made their wireless SNES controllers, and I know it was $35 for the receiver. I'd assume it works with the Retron. I don't see why it wouldn't, because it's just a controller port. It's not like it's having to really interface with it. And that's I think the controller's like $20 and the receiver's $35. And if you don't want to buy the controller, you can use, as we mentioned, the DualShock 3 and 4, the Wii motes, the Wii U Pro controllers. So there's that option for you. I do know that the controllers with the Retron aren't good. You want to replace those anyways.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Like the Sega, the At Games stuff, the all.
Yeah, the At Games.
They come with wireless controllers, and they are shit.
Yeah,
the
Retrons
like 2
are
feet
wired
in front.
though, aren't they? Pretty sure the Retrons.
I think so.
But they're just not good controllers. Like if you get one, you want to replace those anyways.
Now I know, like I think it's like the Retron 3, the one's just got NES, SNES, and Genesis. They're wireless controllers.
Are they? And
they're wireless, like, they look to me just like the At Games, like they're wireless 6-button Genesis controllers. Okay. Fucking garbage, muff cabbage.
I wouldn't know that they use the same manufacturer for some of the stuff.
Oh no, not at all. All them parts like that and shit now too are so cheap and easy to make and manufacture. So,
yep.
But there's your answer, Nick. Thanks for the call. We hope you call more.
Yeah,
hopefully you can nab something.
And hopefully you can shake those Russian spies. You could always wear tinfoil hats so they can't hear your thoughts.
Armadillo shell hats also work. Yeah.
You could wrap your entire house in tinfoil. That works. You gotta be careful though, because it might actually accidentally turn your house into an antenna.
Yeah.
And then everybody,
up all kinds of. Then you got a whole other set of problems on your hand.
Yeah.
We had another call. I don't know who this one's from. Brandon wouldn't tell me. He assured that I just need to listen to it to react.
Yeah, it is. It's for you. It's not for me.
Okay. Is this the same person that told me to eat a dick?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe another piece of the puzzle putting this person together.
Lotto, do you lick your old lady's asshole? Lotto, do you lick your old lady's asshole?
Well, do you?
Lotto, do you lick your old lady's asshole?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's called a healthy marriage, fucker.
Yeah,
Like,
start at the bottom, work your way up.
you gotta, at least I have a wife. A lot of people have video games have a hand they have to lick, so.
Hands a lot cheaper.
Amen. Don't tell her I said that, though. Yeah. Who does it?
Yeah.
I mean, guy, random stranger. Do you lick your own asshole?
Your own? That would be impressive.
How is your flexibility? Do you toss your own salad? Anyways,
Ain't nothing wrong with tossing salad.
your own?
Either. Anybody's.
You got a point. Anyways, that was it. Thanks, Stranger X. What the fuck does relevance does that have to do with anything? Like, huh? Huh? Like, seriously.
Maybe he'll call in with another strange question for you.
My mind is blown. I've never had one sentence just captivate me so hard. I'm like, what a random question to ask a stranger. I'm assuming they're not a stranger, but maybe it is kind of sexier thinking it is a stranger. So
yeah,
whatever. Sure, yeah. Tossing salads.
we could do a whole special episode on salad tossing techniques.
Yep. For when you bring the cuckold home to your wife. We should just write a book on how to here's a book on how to bang your friend's old lady and make him watch it. Anyways, I guess that's it for calls.
Yeah.
Check us out. 682-777 good.
We need some calls because we got a sponsor coming. We're getting a sponsorship, an exclusive sponsorship with the Psychic Hotline. So we need y'all to call and ask these psychics a question for them to answer.
Hey, you got dead family members you ain't talked to in forever?
Yeah.
Call. They'll channel them. They're
pretty legit.
These guys are good.
I'm a big time skeptic. I don't believe in anything, but they convinced me, man.
He actually told me that Miss Cleo was about to die yesterday. He's like, there's a terrible problem within the force. Like, Miss Cleo's about to give out her last free psychic reading. She did. So nobody's gonna call Miss Cleo. She died yesterday. I mean, that's kind of sad, but
One of the greats.
yeah,
One of the greats.
a true entrepreneur of our generation.
I can only hope that one day I can grow to take advantage of millions of desperate and hopeless people.
Me too. That's kind of like a lifelong goal of mine.
Yes,
Hence why we started a podcast. I mean,
exactly.
No, seriously though, if you have a hard time pondering those tough life's questions, hit them up.
Yeah, it can be something simple, or ask them what's the meaning of your life. What's
It's in
your
the
purpose in
cards, and the
life?
cards
Yeah.
do not lie.
Yep.
So, give us a call. We'll be having them on. We'll probably they're working on a new commercial, so we may play their commercial next week, and then have them on to answer your questions live on our show.
Yeah.
It's working on a cooperative sponsorship, I guess you could say.
Yeah. We'll get it knocked out.
But shit, I guess that's about it, ain't it? For this week?
Yeah, that's it.
Cool.
Give us a like on the old Facebooks. Give us a follow on the old Twitters.
Share our shit.
On the Twatters.
Tell everybody you know. Share it with your fucking grandma.
Yep.
You have to.
Yep.
Just get our shit out there. Facebook, Good Old Gamers Podcast. Visit us at our website, goodoldgamers.com. Like Brandon said, we're on Twitter, Stitcher, iTunes, YouTube, Google
Yep.
Play Music.
I really need to re-update our YouTube with new episodes. I don't do it often because of the videoless podcast don't get many views.
Well, now that we got these fancy, newfangled old picture boxes here hooked up,
it ain't gonna be long until we're gonna be on the YouTubes and probably on the Twitch.
It's coming.
We get live questions and stuff on the Twitch.
I'd be down for that.
Heck yeah.
One person play, one person answer, and just swap it out. Mm-hmm. But do all that, we'd be mucho appreciative. The more you do, the better it is on us, and the more you do, the more we're able to do.
I say in a way, the more y'all do, the less I have to do.
That's true.
So y'all just call in, so I ain't even gonna do anything. I just stay home.
Yep. That Brandon just got to click enter.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
Be self-automated. Do all that shit, though. If you got any questions, hit us up. You can hit us at Lyle or Brandon at goodoldgamers.com.
And for anyone pending a prize, I promise you will get them. I'm slow. I'm sorry. Bill,
These things take
I
time.
swear I'm going to put your game in the mail. Same with Dustin and your poster. I forgot to find a good container to mail it in that doesn't cost me a gajillion dollars to ship. But if we can't find something like that,
You wouldn't spend a gajillion dollars for that fine piece of art that is the Horcraft poster.
if I had a gajillion
I
dollars,
have galleries from London trying to procure that for me.
I do not doubt it.
Galas, if you will.
It is a true modern day masterpiece.
It will fucking move some girl with black frame glasses and a bad bang haircut. It will move her to her fucking knees. She will go home and eat so much goddamn kale that she never gets dehydrated
She will,
again.
she will blog on Tumblr until her fingers bleed.
She will go straight home to fucking Portland and have a kale salad and blog angrily until Annie DeFranco comes on the fucking radio at 1 a.m. And that time, it's time for calming tea and sleep time.
Got to blog about them microaggressions.
Maybe we should get her to be a sponsor.
Maybe we should.
Pissed off female hipster blogger. that could be golden.
Yeah.
But check us out on all that shit, and I guess until next time, sign us off, Brandon.
Game over, man. Game over.
Sociopath!